Hi, everyone. I'm Ash Carlson, and welcome to the global press conference for Mortal Kombat 2. I am here with the Earth Realm, which I'm very excited to talk to today. Please join me in welcoming Johnny Cage himself, Carl Urban, Josh Lawson, Kano, Adeline Rudolph, Katana, Makad Brooks, Jax, Jessica McNamee, Sonya Blade, Ludi Lin, Liu Kang, Desmond Chum, King Jared, Simon McCoy, our fearless director. Where's he at? He's over there. And executive producer and creator of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon. Hello. So I have questions for you here. I kind of want to start. I mean, Simon, it's been quite a few years since the first Mortal Kombat, and I'm curious for you just what you learned along the way that you wanted to apply to the second film. What was important to you going into this one?
Well, I guess I got to know Mortal Kombat, the world and the lore in going through the first one. And then what I realized was we could really push everything and really take on that maximalist spirit that Mortal Kombat has. And I was really excited about the idea of doing that and about sort of taking and really pushing everything much further to the limit. Also, I wanted to give the characters sort of greater journeys to go on, so emotional journeys. And so really what I was trying to do was take the emotion and the heart in it and sort of have this very simple, emotional, primal drivers and emotion story in it, and then add this massive, epic spectacle to it. So that was really the plan all along.
Yeah, having seen it, I mean, Ed, for you, just like some of those game moments that happen in the movie are so spectacular and so just like delicious for the fans. What was it like for you from your perspective, just seeing how this one came together?
It was surreal. You know, for the most part, a lot of people think of this as a game, but this really expands everything in all three dimensions. There's, these characters that we thought of are now represented by amazing actors who've just really brought a lot of their own kind of flair to it. To me, that's one of the most exciting things, is seeing their interpretation of these characters is just the coolest thing in the world.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to go to some of the questions I have here that were submitted. This first one is for Simon and Ed, and this is from Golf News in the UAE. The franchise has iconic female fighters. Yes, it does. In Mortal Kombat 2, how are you evolving these characters to feel more grounded, powerful, and reflective of how audiences see women today?
Thanks, Jess.
Yeah, let's ask the guys.
Yeah, go on.
Hey,
Go
guys.
on.
I'll take that one. Ladies, we got this.
Does Jess have to sit here? Well, I will just say this, that going into the second one, I wanted to rebalance and up the female representation, and that's why Katana, Sindel, Jade are in this movie. Jess was there on her own with all the dudes in the first one, and so that was really important to me, and it was important to everyone, and there's a lot of really amazing female characters in Mortal Kombat, so it was really a question of just bringing those in and sort of seeing what they had to offer and bringing their strength in as well. So it was easy for me because it needed to be done.
Yeah. I want to hear from the ladies. Go ahead.
I think for us what's so wonderful is, in introducing these iconic characters that, have always existed in the games, and to bring them to life in this movie. We very much, these characters have held their own in the games, and they hold their own in this movie as well. So to be able to portray a strong, royal and regal character when it comes to Katana was a joy. Yeah.
When you kind of did your first fitting and you had the whole costume on for the first time, what was that moment like for you? Because even for me in the audience, I was like, wow.
No, Cappy did an amazing job designing our costumes. She, really genuinely stepping into that costume for the very first time was like a, holy crap, this is happening. Mm-hmm. I am Katana, and this is all coming together. And on top of that, she was so wonderful in collaborating with us as well and making sure that our costumes were comfortable for the actual fight scenes. So they're not just for show, they're actually really great to, again, it's a corset at the end of the day, but very comfortable to fight in. And it just really made the character come to life for sure.
And those fans, man.
insane. I have a pair at home. Yeah.
And Jessica McNamee, I apologize.
It's all right. I'll forgive you.
Thank you. Coming into the second film with just this more, female characters around you, this empowerment. You're not by yourself with the guys this time.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
I was so relieved to find that there were more women in this one. Dude, I walked off the set of that first one and I had become a dude myself. It was so weird getting back from that job and putting a pair of heels on. I was like, what are these? So it was really nice. And there was such a different change on set. Like the dynamic was completely different this time around just because it was way more balanced. And I know us two and Tati, we'd sit and shoot the shit together and talk things that were more in line with our interests rather than having to listen to all these idiots all the time. So it was really nice. And yeah, people kind of keep asking me, did you have to offer any advice? And I was like, no, I mean, these women hold their own.
I mean, she says that, but I will say the whole cast from the first movie, including Jess and everyone, were so welcoming and having us join on. So I definitely feel like you guys passed the baton in many ways and helped us feel really welcome.
Well, it was also awesome because we'd all become such a family on the first one, so I can imagine it would have been kind of intimidating and daunting to step into a second movie with this established cast, but gosh, they just fit in so well and just all, came into the fold so easily, which was a real bonus, except for Carl. We found him a bit...
Watch him. It's a bit iffy.
Well, this next question is for Carl from Priyanka Roy from ABP India. Is there any aspect that you had to undergo in your training, either physical or emotional, that you haven't had to do previously for another role?
Well, I got to say, coming into Mortal Kombat 2 was hands down the most challenging physical undertaking that I've ever embarked on when it comes to a production. The skill set required was definitely an exponential learning curve that I have never encountered, and I certainly I'd be lying to say that I didn't feel a little bit terrified. I mean, you're stepping into a movie with martial artists who are accomplished, like Ludi and Max and Lewis and Joe, and they are all so fantastic at what they do. But we didn't waste a minute. I remember landing in Brisbane and getting driven straight to a stunt rehearsal session. I still had my bags, and I was like, "Okay, here you go." So it was the re-entry. The entry was real. Yeah. But I think all of us sort of really recognized the importance to get it right. This is a film that has been made by fans, and I think all of the cast felt the responsibility of that and invested a significant amount of time and energy into training. We're supremely delighted with the end result.
Yeah, I mean, it's nonstop for us too. As soon as I don't know how y'all did this. It's nonstop. It's amazing.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. Well, it's awesome. Ludi, this next question is for you from Aquabiu from Thailand. Do you have a personal favorite fatality or signature move?
I want to pick Ed Boon's mind on this. I think he's such a treasure trove of fatalities. I don't know. You probably have a really sick mind in that to come up with all of this stuff.
I'm not going to answer that. No, actually, I like the one that he did in the game. He brings these two gigantic dragons out, shooting them out
in the newest game.
In the newest movie, yeah. And when at the end I'm not going to spoil the whole thing, but he does this fantastic fatality move with these two dragons when he's fighting Shao Kahn. It's an awesome move. I love your performance in it.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I think a lot of the fatalities in our movie is actually inspired from the games now, because you're fully on board. And I was speaking with Jeremy, our writer. He was just saying what a goldmine you were, because anytime he wasn't sure of which direction to go, what to add to the game, the best stages, the best fatalities, all he had to do was call you up and go, what do you think people are like? and then he would write it in, and then our stunt team, Simon, would just take it to another level. So that double dragon fatality, my favorite is the Fire God's fatality of Liu Kang from MK1 out right now. It's fantastic.
Is there a lot of buildup? I mean, for all of you, when you're doing those fatality moves in your mind of like, oh, this is like iconic. How am I going to approach this? Like, what goes through your mind when you're kind of getting up to those moments?
My mind kind of explodes, and then I get sometimes too enthusiastic, as Simon will attest.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, Ludi.
Yeah, usually I come into set and I go, Simon, I have an idea. And then...
What do you mean usually? Every time. Ludi would come up and
put a
say,
sign up
I
in
have
the
an
tent.
idea. Yeah.
But then it seems like in the second movie, Simon was always conspicuously absent in my presence.
Or there's a sign up in the tent, no actors. Only
But then
when
the
you're
results
there.
speak for themselves. So
Here comes Ludi, put the sign up. Yeah.
This next question is for Adeline. What was the toughest but most rewarding part of playing Katana? And this one is also from Thailand.
I think for me, it's definitely executing the stunt element in this movie. I mean, I very much mirror what Carl said. I did not come from a martial arts background. So for me, making sure that I firstly had the choreography down, but also that I was honoring the influences that were being incorporated into Katana's fighting style, like Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Wushu, really difficult. And making sure that I was not only get all the steps right, but also incorporate an emotional element to the fighting. I hope I pulled it off. You did. But that was really rewarding. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
This next one is for Makad. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Which is more challenging, getting into character or the physical martial arts training required for the role?
I think that there's a big Venn diagram there. I think it's a bit of both, right? Part of getting into character is knowing your fighting style, knowing your fighting vocabulary, as it were. I also mirror Carl. I did not come from a fight background. I had a couple fights growing up. They were not organized. I won both. And I think they're a bit of one and the same. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah. This next one, okay. The next one is for Desmond from nangdi.com, also in Thailand. If you could pick any character to be, who would it be and why?
I think the character that I would be is taken already. I main Noob Saibot in the games.
Oh my gosh,
but
yes.
that's already very well taken. So I think the Jared answer that everyone's expecting is Ermac, who I don't play a lot of. His style is a little different, but yeah, I don't know if I ever told Joe that I play his character
On his role.
I
Yeah,
probably
you're
should tell him. I'm too scared.
challenge him.
yeah, I'll challenge him to a tournament for the right to his character.
What character does everybody pick? Like before you got the role, what character were you always?
I played Scorpion as a kid. all the
Sub-Zero.
time. I used to dress up as Scorpion for Halloween like 5 or 6 years in a row.
I used to freeze people like Sub-Zero.
I love Sub-Zero as well, but I also
Yeah.
love Kung Lao. I just that hat and it's just cool. It's the coolest.
Johnny for sure. I think what I love about Johnny is he feels so anachronistic in the game. Like this is a world of monsters and superpowers, and then there's this Hollywood actor, and I find that so funny. That Johnny just really appeals to me.
Yeah, I mean, you two together was amazing. What was like? How much improv were they doing on set? What was that like? I mean, it was just I want the long cut
Lowdown.
I want the lowdown and the long cut of whatever you guys were doing.
There is a long cut.
Yeah, there is. Oh no, no doubt. No, well, listen, we benefited greatly from a fantastic script written by Jeremy Slater, but then also Simon very graciously encouraged us to improvise. They gave us a lot of runway, and we used it.
Yeah.
They used it.
And and you know, working with Josh, who is just supremely adept at improvising. He just comes up with the funniest shit all the time. It forces you as an actor not only to be in the moment, to listen, but then also to up your game. And I think some of the most fun that I had in this movie was sparring with this guy.
Yeah, you know, it's ironic, but I think the best way to improvise is with a good script, not with a bad script, right? It's so much easier to have a good bedrock from which to add stuff if you get that allowance. But you know, this sort of the chemistry I think Carl and I had really was a happy accident. I mean, you don't really do chemistry reads anymore. That's sort of a thing of old Hollywood. And so it was pretty clear early on. I think you recognized it pretty quickly, Simon, where it's like, oh, this is sort of working in a way that was even better than we had imagined. And so, I think after the first day working with Carl, I'd gotten home going, oh yeah, that was popping. You know, that was going all right. You know, there was a lot there, and it's a funny kind of. They're different enough that the bickering works, but there's an overlap there where they're complementary to each other as well, and so their partnering makes sense, I think.
Yeah. Who from the returning cast or returning characters is the least excited to see Kano 2.0?
Me. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
How is he different this time around? And what was it like just for you to be like, oh, I'm coming back?
Crazy. I mean, this is my first sequel, so that's an unusual experience. You know, usually you walk on a film, and that first day of set, you know, at the end of the shoot, you're like, God, I wish I could do that first week again, because now I'm sort of in the zone. But I'd done that. You know, my first day on set in this one, I was like, I know this guy, I know this character, it's great. He's different this time because he's been dead. And and that gives him a really, really unique value of life.
Quite the journey.
Yeah, it's quite the journey. Yeah, and so I think this time he's like, yeah, life is better than dead, and now he's got something to fight for, and I think he's got an appreciation for Earthrealm that he didn't really have before. But of course, you know, in classic Kano, his allegiances flip-flop as the wind blows, and don't worry, he's still a bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite is when Kano gets resurrected, and everyone's like, "How come he's not a revenant like like Kung Lao?" And he's like, "He's got no soul to begin with." It's the best.
That's it.
This next question is from Alex Blackburn from Tom's Guide UK for Josh. This franchise has such a passionate fan base. Was there any fan expectations you felt pressured to live up to? And I want to hear that from everybody, I think, too.
There is, of course. I mean, double-edged sword, right? You want to go into something with a built-in fan base. That's fantastic because you know there's going to be an audience for it. But with a fan base comes, you know, an expectation to deliver upon that which they love, that which is important to them. And but I always felt that was at the forefront of everyone's mind, not just from Simon, but from the producers and from the writers and from Ed. And it was always in the conversation. You know, every time we do a scene, is this what they want? Is this correct? Is this what they're expecting? And so I never felt like it rested on my shoulders alone to meet that expectation.
I think there's something amazing about stepping into a second film, knowing that we, you know, had such a great response from the fans the first time around, that it felt for me quite freeing coming into the second one, being like, great, what we're making is what the fans are wanting. They're responding to our interpretation of the character. And so I actually felt coming into the second one was amazing for that reason.
Yeah. Makad, did you feel that way too, coming back to the second one? Do you feel like more confident or more responsibility? Or
both. I took the character to my therapist in the first film. And so I actually sat with my therapist for about 6 sessions and figured out why he was who he was. And so that part was, I like to overthink a character and then underplay them. And then I think what happened for me was the first film, I didn't know if I belonged in the fighting scenes. So that was the hard part for me.
What do you mean?
Well, what you saw in the film was my desire to be the best at what I was doing, matching my devotion, right? But in the rehearsals, I was like, I'm not getting this right. I was 5% away for a month, and I literally broke down in my hotel room and to tears, and I was like, do I belong here? And it was psychological, because I had never done a 27-step choreography, right, with Joe Taslim, and I messed up once, and he punched me in the face, and
In the same sense.
yeah. Well, I mean, at least he says I messed up. And there was something about that, you know, I knew I belonged there as an actor, but I didn't know if I belonged there as a fighter. And I'm really hard on myself when it comes to that kind of thing. So when I got to the second movie, I was like, oh, I got this. And it's really affirming because we had such a great reception from the fans for the first one. So it was very helpful. Yeah.
Kind of said that. What was the quote that he says?
Yeah,
Devote.
desire matches devotion.
Do you mean the Ernest Hemingway quote that I always butcher?
No, it's yours now.
Oh, is that? Well, he was crediting you.
What you just said.
Oh yeah, no. So for me, it's when your desire matches your devotion. That's when you know you're there.
I love that.
Yeah.
I definitely felt the pressure. I remember when I got cast, I said to my two sons, who I actually played the game with, which was my first introduction to the world of Mortal Kombat, and I said, "Hey guys, I'm going to be Johnny Cage," and they were like, "Oof." Big fan base. Don't fuck it up. So right from the get-go, from my own family, I was like, "Oh," I felt the pressure, but. You know, when you're in that situation, all you can do is just channel all of your energy away from any of those fears and anxieties and just focus it on the work, focus it on your preparation. And for me, it was a deep dive into the world of martial arts. So I went to a karate tournament in New Zealand, and I watched young kids and families engaged in this tournament and saw the culture. And so that was the first door that I went through. And then secondly, it was like starting from scratch, like learning how to move, like learning like agility and doing speed drills. I mean, you know, we were doing stuff that pro athletes were doing, those kind of exercises, and then sort of investing time and energy into the world of Mortal Kombat and looking at everything that's been from all the games to what's canon, and then obviously going through the doors of the script and saying, okay, well that's that, then how can I apply what I've learned over here to the character that's written in the script? And Jeremy did a wonderful job, because he didn't write a character that was fueled in so much ego. This is a very dispirited character, which was a very smart choice, because it gave not only me but the audience somewhere to go with the character. It gave a journey. We're super excited. We actually haven't seen it. We're going to see the film tonight with the fans for the first time, and we're super excited.
It's so good.
What was the biggest difference for you in doing like the fight choreography for like Uncaged Fury
Right.
versus like the actual combat?
Again, it's another day I was terrified, because I put the Uncaged Fury wardrobe on, and like, you know, you're wearing big 90s MC Hammer pants, and I was like, I feel ridiculous. And then I walk on set, and then the entire cast
Yeah, we're all,
had
like,
come to
peeking.
watch had come to watch it, and so, you know, as if I wasn't sort of nervous enough, I had to deal with that, but I just leant into it, and I had so much fun. But it's really like, as I said before, the exponential sort of skill set that's required. Like when you do stunt fighting on other projects, you know, you can kind of be a bit burly, and you sort of be, you know, sort of bullishly, you know, bulldoze your way through it. You can't do that. In martial arts, everything the form is so specific, and in a ballet kind of way, a beautiful, violent choreography. So it was, as I said before, it was a huge challenge.
I would eat that movie up. I need the whole thing.
Right?
I would love it. I would love it.
Everyone mentions this big fight between Kung Lao and Liu Kang after they see the movie, but actually my favorite fight is the Uncaged Fury fight because it's so funny, and because almost our entire stunt team has a role to play in that fight, and they're all stepped up as actors, and they like were able to just do whatever they want with the humor they nail. It's just fantastic.
What was your training like, Desmond? Because you had like a different fighting style because you're more of like a knight.
Yeah, that was interesting for me because I think people have surmised I'm a pretty big fan of the game. And then coming in as Jared, I'm like, there's nothing established about this guy at all. And I was wondering what they were going to have set up for me. And I was thinking, because, Adenia has that kind of like Southeast Asian flair to it. I was like, okay, maybe something like that. So I was training with some friends in some of those martial arts. And then I came in and they gave me a big old set of armor, like a knight, like a medieval knight. And I was like, ooh, I have to rethink this. But I love it because it's so, the armor gives him this dignity and this this veritas in the king role, and he has this big old, not big, it's like a little broadsword, but like I'm like, okay, let's think about the fighting style, and then working with Malai and Mike, our stunt guys, we sort of found it in there because everyone else has a touch point, right? You've got Hungar or certain things, but Jared was kind of a blank slate, like Ed was saying. We haven't really seen him move in.
First time that he's been represented in any kind of film.
Right. And there was a freedom to that was cool, but there's a freedom to that that's also terrifying because it's like, let's not mess up the origination of this. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that battle's pretty badass.
Appreciate.
Okay, this is gonna be, wow, we're already at the end, you guys. This is gonna be the last question from Ben Lyons from Game Reactor. And it's for Simon and Ed. The Mortal Kombat series is known for its great Easter eggs and secrets. This one has a lot. How do you go about effectively including and paying homage to these in Mortal Kombat 2? And can you tease anything fans should perhaps be keeping an eye out for in the film?
You go first, Ed, and then.
Well, Simon did something really clever that I shouldn't want to give it away, but if you see the IMAX version of the movie, it's and you're a fan of the games, you will go crazy when you see what's on there. But littered throughout the did you?
I went crazy.
Littered throughout the film are 100 Easter eggs that are in the game. I think a lot of people are going to watch the film multiple times. I bet you there's going to be a list somewhere on Twitter or something like that. And that's, to me, it's such a fan service to the people who are fans of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would just add to that it was just a constant process of looking at the decades of lore that Ed and his guys have created, and just constantly mining that and seeing what we could use and seeing how we could just fold it in and layer it into the film and the story, and really try and make. I think what we were trying to do was make so fatalities and even Easter eggs and camera moves and anything that was from the game. We wanted it to have an emotional impact. We wanted it to mean something beyond just, oh, that looks cool, and isn't it cool that we've done it? But those fatalities arrive at certain points, very key story points. And so we're always trying to give them some sort of amplification, just so that they, resonated more for the audience watching the story. So, yeah.
There's one with Johnny I yelled at. I loved it.
I've actually got a question for Ed.
Oh, I was like, not for me.
Okay, this is what he does.
Like, no.
Okay, this is what he does, everyone. Okay, it just takes over.
I have an idea. But we've made 2 of these movies so far. But you've made like 12 games, 13, 12 of these games. Yeah. So what is the secret to making 12 of these movies?
12 of these games?
Movies.
To translate.
Well, hopefully, there is a story. There are additional villains that we've introduced over the years that I think are absolutely up for grabs in terms of continuing doing films. I would love to see another one introducing, Shinnok. Just quite a few additional villains. And what's great about Mortal Kombat is when you die, you're just going to come back in the next movie.
That is great.
So-
that
so-
is
so-
a great.
Very good
I think
for us.
Josh can attest to that.
Don't mourn them. They'll be
My
fine.
favorite part.
The producers just put another quarter in the machine and reborn.
That's all it takes, folks.
Only a quarter. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the price has gone up.
I
But
think the cool thing about this movie is, this movie was made by fans of Mortal Kombat and fans of the game for fans. But also, if you've never played Mortal Kombat or you've never seen a movie, you can go along to this movie and have a fantastic time because it is big summer blockbuster action adventure entertainment, and you can get in on the ground floor with this movie and just have so much fun. So so check it out.
Well, thank you all so much for joining. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Just a reminder to stick around because there is another press conference with another round. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. And thank you all so much for joining. And
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
See you later, world.
Bye.